Ladies and gentlemen, Game of Thrones is going to become a movie. That's right. It is in early development at Warner Brothers. Yes, yes. I read this whole entire article. It's not really a long read at all. But they go on to talk about how there is no title for the movie, but they've been secretly working on it for a while. Warner Brothers has been working closely with GRRM to make a Game of Thrones movie. This is great news. Game of Thrones fans of old, rejoice and bask in this, because a Game of Thrones movie needed to happen 8 years ago, bro. A Game of Thrones movie is a game changer. A Game of Thrones movie fixes a lot of the wants that I have as a Game of Thrones fan. And I know that you guys have as a Game of Thrones fan too. It's so exciting to know that they're going to make a movie because they're late to the party. And that's what this article was talking about. This article was talking about how, it's no longer about TV or movies. It's TV and movies. Now these IPs are making films while at the same time having TV shows running. Because an idea of a franchise, this right here is only for movies. You can only see this in the theater. That's over with, because you can see something in the theater and you could also have something at home. In the theater and at home. Look at the MCU with the MCU in the theaters, and then the garbage that's on Disney Plus. Usually it takes a really big step down. HBO is not what it used to be, though. HBO, when they had Game of Thrones, was pretty good. But now with this new House of the Dragon season 1 and 2, they are not who they used to be. So HBO's shows are all going to be, at their best, good. I don't think that there will ever be a great Game of Thrones feeling Westerosi show ever again, because our society is different. So the next 15 years will all be mid, trash, or good Game of Thrones shows. That's it. That's the most that we can hope for. We have on Max we have a whole streaming service. We have a whole company that is unwilling to show sex in Game of Thrones. That's unheard of. I'm rewatching season 1 right now, and some of the things they talk about and the things that they show in just one season, in 2 episodes, have blown away House of the Dragon. The whole season. They won't even show, they will have the nerve to put lesbian bitches in my freaking House of the Dragon and not even show a titty. How you got 4 titties and you won't even show 1? Get the freak out of here, House of the Dragon. Get the freak out of here, HBO. Max. I'm sorry, it's Max now. Max is trash, bro. It's just like any other streaming service at this point. That's just how I feel about it. You have more fear of being canceled and getting a lawsuit because an actress doesn't want to reveal her body when she's portraying a slave whore than actual Dragonfire from freaking Drogon. They would take on Dragonfire from Drogon before having an actress show a butt crack and an areola. I don't like this universe that we're in. I don't like this society. If freaking Doc Brown came in the time chamber, first thing he could do, Jody, I gotta, stop there, Doc. I'm getting in. Let me just get something real quick. We gone. I don't even need no shit. I'm gone. Get me out of here. I don't give a freak. And that's where I'm at when it comes to the way I view this society that we freaking live in. 5 days away from an election that's going to metaphorically tear us apart. I had escapism from all that shit. The election is all in my face, all in my brains, all over everywhere I look, it's election. I used to be able to lose myself in fandom. I could lose myself in Civil War. I could lose myself when Winter Soldier came out, lose myself in Wonder Woman, could lose myself in Star Wars. I could lose myself in a TV series, Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy, a Game of Thrones. I could escape the garbage reality that we all have to deal with, at least for a brief moment, 1 hour at a time, a Sunday at 9, a Thursday at 8, hell, a Friday at 9 or a freaking Saturday at 11, where I could watch something to escape. And I can't do that no more. That's why I feel like I'm going batshit crazy. But there is one thing that is still king. Even if HBO and Max can fool you and fall like a little bitch, one form of medium still exists that will still be pretentious, bloody, gory, rapey, druggy, will freaking show some titties, show some gore, show some sex and some nudity. And that is the god dang golden screen, the mother freaking movie theater experience. It still gives me my freaking toxic, baby. My grown up stuff. And I love it. And now, in this climate, I believe that this Game of Thrones movie will give me the Game of Thrones of old that HBO used to be able to do some 7-8 years ago and give it to me in the modern day. This movie is probably going to release in 2026 because we have a series that's coming out in a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I think. It comes out in 2025. It's scheduled to come out in 2025. I don't think it's coming out in 2025 because isn't House of the Dragon Season 3 supposed to come out next year? That shit ain't gonna happen. Two shows are not gonna come out in 1 year. Max is incapable of that. They're freaking idiots over there. So we'll get this thing in a couple of years. It'll be toxic. It'll be, you'll have a nice sex slave riding the D with some titties out, like freaking Daenerys, his freaking side whore from season 1, showing Daenerys how to ride some D to get at Khal Drogo to make him fall in love with her, how to hit it, not just hit that shit from the back, but to actually make love the sensual way. It's going to happen in this movie. We are able to get it in this movie because in the movies, they still show us some good old toxic. The good old toxic that I love to see. Now, the only question that I have since getting this news about House of the Game of Thrones movie has been this. There's only one question that I have. There's only one. I believe it's a question that you may have. I would say it's a question you may have. I have the answer. You have the question. I have the answer. This movie has to be one thing. There's only one movie that this film needs to be about. There's only one narrative in the history of Westeros that I care about more than anything else. I'm not necessarily convinced that the history and lore of House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones and Westeros as a whole is as awesome as some of the fans say it is. What I do know is that what they have shown us, I can vouch for because I've seen that with my own ojos. Give me a film about Robert's rebellion now. That's all I want. That's all you need to make. Doesn't need to be anything else. Any other fan out there that says, oh no, it should be there, freak you, call in. Period. Don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear shit. What's up? Robert's Rebellion or nothing. I need a story about Rob and Ned as kids all the way up to adulthood until they rebel.
Jody, you bugging.
Who is this?
This is Miles, bro. You know who
I'm about to push your shit in, nigga. Robert's Rebellion or nothing.
Okay, I understand.
Dude.
But I learned about these movies and shows that were going to be made before House of Dragon season 1 came out. And I'm sorry to break it to you. This is gonna be old Valyria, the Golden Empire.
Miss me with that. You don't know shit. You don't know that. It's not gonna be that because that's garbage.
You,
that's trash.
It's going to be
Robert's Rebellion.
The Golden Empire.
No.
And there's a possibility it may be animated.
No. What? All right, listen.
Yes.
What you're saying is bullshit. I reject that. It's gonna be a live action film. It's gonna be a live action film. That's the fact that you think it's gonna be about old Valyria and animated lets me know you are crazy. See, you are a victim of fandom. I feel like you have the logic, but you're more of a fan, and your fandom usurps your logic. The fact that you would come here and say old Valyria, some shit we don't give a freak about and never seen, and then answer and say a cartoon at that, you crazy.
So look. So there's been two things niggas been asking for. They've been asking for Robert's Rebellion, and they've been asking for Aegon's Conquest. Now, what HBO and George Martin, the fat nigga, have been trying to say is they want to have two shows running at the same time. Night of the Seven Kingdoms teasers have already been dropped, so they're trying to shoot at they're trying to release at the summer of next year, early summer.
Yeah.
Then have House of the Dragon season 3 at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. One's gonna get delayed. They're not gonna be able to make 2 seasons in 1 year. They're incapable of doing that.
No. They said House of the Dragons. I think they said it's 2026. So they want to have one out every single year instead of having a leap year like between seasons.
And that's not enough. Like that's not enough. If you're trying to compete with Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, you need to release more than that. Why can't these bastards release more than 1 series a year?
That is a problem. I do agree, but they're already beating out Rings of Power and
for sure.
Star Wars.
For sure. Absolutely.
You know what happened to Star Wars.
But yeah, about being an animation, that's wild talk. That's just wild. No one's
I don't like that either.
No one's gonna watch that, Miles. No one's but diehards will show up to that. This Robert Rebellion is gonna make $1 billion, bro. This Robert's Rebellion will make $1 billion.
But I think Robert Rebellion, to get the tender love and care it needs to be a TV show. It's such a delicate thing. It needs to be a show, and it takes over so many years.
No, that's fine.
You can't put that into 2 hours.
Stand By Me takes over. They were kids and ended up as boys. This is the beauty of movie making. Especially this motherfucker could be easily a 3-hour movie. 2.5, 3 hours. You could do a full story about Robert's Rebellion.
There would have to be like multiple parts, bro. It wouldn't. You couldn't just be one movie.
Yes, they can. They could show them in adolescence for like 30 minutes of the movie, which is enough for me, and then show them teens, and then show them when they're going to war, meeting the women, having the issues with the Iron Islands and shit, the little battle and skirmish.
Your problem?
They could do that.
Nah, your problem is you focusing on just Robert and Ned. The other characters that are present in that time period,
they don't matter.
Young Tywin Lannister.
Yeah, that's cool.
You have Barristan the Bold's own story.
Sure.
You have the Greyjoys with Theon's brothers, the early Euron Greyjoy.
Wait a minute. Did they not release 3 Lord of the Ring movies?
You have the Blackfish.
The first Lord of the Ring movie.
It would have to be multiple movies.
That first Lord of the Ring movie covers a lot, bro. Focused. That first Lord of the Rings movie covers a lot. How can that not be Robert's Rebellion?
I don't think they can do it with that, like the tender love and care. I don't think they can do it good enough.
You don't understand. You're so used to watching these sheets as a show spread out. You haven't even understood how it works as a movie. It's gonna give you everything that's needed,
them, bro.
What? You know why I don't trust? I don't trust HBO, nigga. I don't trust the way you watch it. House of the Dragon?
I didn't like House of the Dragon season 2, but
season 1 is mid. Okay at best. Season 2's weak, and then they're not. Come on, they're incapable of giving us what we have used to been getting from 2010. That's over.
Yeah, that's just done. Like their best chance of doing that is Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but they're not going to because of the current time.
All right, so how could you sit up here and say I don't trust them making movies when they're proven to make great movies? This is Warner Brothers we're talking about. This is not going to be HBO making this series. It's Warner Brothers. You know, Christopher Nolan, Dark Knight, making all the great. Yeah, they're going to make this motherfucker, and you best believe that they're going to get an amazing director behind it.
I'm telling you, Jody. They released House of the Dragon, which is a Targaryen history. And Night of the Seven Kingdoms is a continuation about 70-ish, 100 years after House of the Dragon, and some more Targaryen.
Don't nobody
history.
care about that, dog.
They're gonna do the Golden Empire, Old Valyria. They're gonna go from the start of Old Valyria to the Doom.
Don't care.
And then they're gonna do the 10-year time skip when Valyria blows up, and then they're gonna do the 100 years time skip, go into Aegon's conquest, and make that.
Don't care about that. I don't want to see that. Miss me with that. I don't know if that's good. You know what I know is good?
Hey,
I know Robert Rebellion is good.
I want the shows that have less of the magical, whimsical shit. I want more of the political, gritty type Game of Thrones media. Like, that's Robert's Rebellion, and that's Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is why I think they're actually doing that show.
Okay, cool.
Those two time periods, there's no dragons. It's just niggas fighting and scheming. That's what I want to go back to.
We have prerequisite already in our hearts and our souls. We have a profound love for House of the Dragon. I mean, for Game of Thrones, season 1 through 6. We love it. Mm-hmm. And they already have the gas behind it. If you drop Robert's Rebellion, we are already invested in this movie because we watched 6 seasons that tie around it. And we can see it actually go down. That means every single person who watched Game of Thrones season anything will watch that movie. Now, when you come out and say, well, this one's about 1,000 years before Robert's Rebellion, or before we ever seen any, I don't care about that shit. I already watched that shit with this House of the Dragon. That shit is garbage. I don't give a freak. I don't know them, and I don't even like the way their characters are written, my nigga. They're watered down garbage potential when it comes to the real Game of Thrones cast, my nigga. I am 6 episodes into season 1, and I will already replace both of House of the Dragon seasons for just those 6 episodes, my nigga.
I agree with you. And I agree with everything you just said.
So give me that Robert's Rebellion.
I'm telling you, stamp it here. Hey, get this clip, y'all. It's going to be a golden empire. And Robert's Rebellion, they had no plans for Robert's Rebellion 2 years ago at all.
I didn't know they had like money. I remember them talking about Robert's Rebellion years back. I remember covering and talking about it. They were talking about it back then.
Yeah, they talked about it, but it wasn't in the plans. They wanted to do the Blackfire Rebellions first.
And they made a mistake. They made a mistake. They chose this Dunkin' and Egg bullshit. They chose House of the Dragon bullshit. This Knights of the Living bullshit over Robert's Rebellion. Robert's Rebellion was one of the 3 movies.
Is Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, the same thing.
Okay, cool. Robert's Rebellion was one of the TV series that was in the pool to get made, and they chose House of the Dragon, my nigga.
Yeah, they chose House of the Dragon.
They effed up.
They want to set up Aegon's conquest.
They effed up. They made a mistake. Don't nobody care. And when I say don't nobody care, only people that care about that shit are book readers, and they don't matter because they're gonna watch the movie anyway. So you don't want to target them. You want to target the biggest audience. The biggest audience of Game of Thrones is not the books. It is the show.
Yes.
So you want to appease those viewers and giving them Robert's Rebellion, which ties into the show that they already know, some of them like the back of their hand. That is a guaranteed box office ticket and the family. They're going to have Game of Thrones parties off that shit. Yes. It's a win-win.
I agree, bro. Like the problem is, and they talked about it a lot, like a lot of the Game of Thrones YouTube community, they talked about, they're like, HBO has this false premise that the Game of Thrones community are a bunch of just
they're elitist dead. And they're elitist.
No. They mean like people that watch the show. They just all they want is cool shit, explosions, pretty colors. They don't give a fuck about the story. That's what HBO thinks.
They're
as
right.
As long as we have good CGI dragons and fire on screen, people will watch it.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yes, it is. But it's also accurate, too. Most people are kind of dumb. It's just a fact. That's why when you say Old Valyria, look, this comment right here in the comment section makes a lot of sense. Cody said it. He says, Old Valyria wouldn't work at all. Too many dragons and too many characters that we don't know. We don't know these niggas.
Exactly.
All right, so why give us a... We're going to see a movie with dragons. Oh, look, dragons.
That's why it's going to be animated. because they talk about. That's why they always talk about Old Valyria and
crazy.
all of these TV shows. They're trying to drop the hints. It's going to be Old Valyria.
Hey, bro. Hey. I
will be
bet
shocked,
money
Jody.
on this. I'll bet money that it's not animated, nigga. This is the real deal.
Hey, if I'm wrong, I will give subs if I'm wrong.
All right.
But I heard about this 3 years ago, and
cool.
they had 9 projects. It's dropped down to 6, and Robert's Rebellion was not on there.
Okay. 3 years ago, I was going to be in a Superman movie, and here I am now, not in one.
Nah, 3 years ago it was 9. Like, before House of Dragon Season 2 came out, they revised it, and it was 6 projects, and 3 of them got shelved. Robert's Rebellion was one of the ones that got shelved.
Got you. Things change.
This shit sucks, bro. I would like to see Robert's Rebellion in any media, but it would have to be like multiple movies. I would say like a trilogy.
Trixie says, say it with your chest, Jody. 100% facts. Robert's Rebellion.
I would love to see it. I have no faith that they would be there.
There's another donation that came from Matt Pass. Thank you, Matt Pass. I appreciate you. Love your work on anime, Jody. Thank you so very much. He says, a Game of Thrones movie covering Robert's Rebellion would be fire. Prime Robert was a menace, and I want to see him bust open his breastplate on the side of the road, Ned. Gods, I was strong then. I want to see Ned besmirch his honor, but it's not really him besmirching his honor. I want to see them fight side by side. I want to see them go to the Mad King for freaking vengeance and justice for what they did to their father. I want to see that shit. I want to see Rhaegar appear to kidnap Lyanna, but it's not love. It's not kidnap. It's love. And I want to see how Oberyn Tyrell feels about that. About what the Mountain doing what he did to his freaking sister's kids. Nigga, give me that shit now. Stop playing. That's the only answer.
That's the thing. Like, you'd have to do it in movies of the rebellion, like the start of the rebellion, the middle of the rebellion, and then the end of the rebellion and Robert ruling. It would have to be three parts.
No, it don't have to be the end of the Robert ruling. It could end where that nigga kills Rhaegar. It could end there. Because we already could fill in the blanks. We've seen the show. We understand 20 years of him ruling, blah, blah, blah. It could just be all the way from adolescence to the war, and then winning the war, Ned coming home with that baby, and Robert sitting down and taking Jaime Lannister open the gates for Robert. Tywin's like, all right, that's your shit. And Robert's sitting on the thing. Dun, 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 dun. Black. Game.
In what? In one movie?
Yes.
Bro, you have Tywin being the hand of the king for 20 years. You have to have Aerys starting on the throne from the start of the rebellion.
What does that mean, 20 years? No, you can just call a character Tywin and we'll understand. We've seen the show.
You have to develop.
No, we've seen the show. You don't have to develop none of them. You don't have to develop no character that's in Game of Thrones.
Lyanna Stark.
No,
because
we know her. No, we know her already. We understand.
But we know, Jody, they do stuff for the casual fans. So they want to be able to watch it if you haven't watched Game of Thrones to understand what's going on.
Yes.
People have to care for Lyanna.
Bro, Darth Vader had 8 to 10 minutes. It was 5 to 8 minutes of actual screen time in the first Star Wars movie. Nigga was an icon. Mm-hmm. He was an icon. Everyone loved him. 8 minutes.
But these niggas ain't Darth Vader.
You're right. They're even more capable and better writers. This is Warner Brothers, bro.
Shit.
This ain't Fox. This is Warner Brothers, bro. The greatest movie studio of all time. That's what this is.
I've had my heart broken, Jody, by this shit. Cause you know I love this shit, Jody.
Yeah.
And bro,
but you had your heart broken by a freaking TV network. You had your heart broken by HBO. You ain't had your heart broken by Warner Brothers. There's levels to this shit, and HBO has a cap that Warner Brothers starts at and goes up from.
Because you got niggas like Barris and Selmy and the Blackfish that have their own shit going on.
All of that.
You have Jaime Lannister with the Smiling Knight, Arthur Dane.
Mm-hmm. And when we see them, we're gonna come. There's a lot
of shit in Robert's Rebellion. There's a lot of shit in Robert's Rebellion.
When we see them, we're gonna come. Oh, that's Arthur Dane! Oh my God! Yes, my lord. I'll take her. I'll escort her to. And then a little mission of him escorting her, killing niggas on the road. That's all we need. This nigga tight.
You have Jamie being the youngest Kingsguard ever
Yes.
being knighted.
15,
at the
16 years
tourney.
old. Yes.
Oh my God! Wait. Then you have the tournament at Harrenhal where Rhaegar gives the flowers to
Yeah, to
Lyanna.
Lyanna. Yes.
And then you have Jamie being knighted at the
That's
same
that
thing. So
that
it was
is
really
that's
Rhaegar trying to become king and
that's
usurp his
that's
father,
a
but
3-minute scene. The
Varys
night at
tells
the
the
tournament.
king. Yeah.
That's 2-3 minutes right there. And we'll
Nah,
understand.
a lot of it can't be. That's the thing, Jody. It can't be 2-3
Yes,
minutes. The
again.
tournament itself
No.
is the turning
Okay,
point of the
I got it.
That's what sparks the fire.
You are incapable of thinking of this as a movie. You're locked in with a series. You got to abandon that. Game of Thrones, if it was let me tell you something. They could do Game of Thrones in a trilogy if they wanted to, and it would still be effective. Not 6 seasons. They could have did 6 seasons in 3 movies, a trilogy, and it would have worked.
But just alone, Jody, like within the tournament at Harrenhal, you have Rhaegar, who was never on his father's side to begin with. He didn't want the rebellion to happen. He wanted to usurp his father and become king. Robert never knew that, and then Rhaegar gave his crown to Lyanna. And then at the tournament at Harrenhal was supposed to be a coup d'état meeting. But Varys found out and told the king. The king comes in and snatches Jamie from Tywin, knighting him. There's a lot of shit that happens. You have Barristan Selmy and Ned going after the same girl, Ashara Dane, in the tournament. There's a lot of drama happening at that tournament at Harrenhal and sets up some of the sides, kind of like the banquet in House of the Dragon with Alicent and Rhaenyra, like she wore the green dress. There's a lot of shit that happened at the tournament at Harrenhal that leads into the rebellion.
What would you say this tournament of Harrenhal is equivalent to? Would you say it's that dinner table like House of the Dragon? Because they could drop that down to 10 minutes in a movie and it'd be even more effective.
I would say it would have to take like 15 minutes minimum to do everything.
Okay.
Like to have all the characters' point of views looked at.
For sure.
Because that's also because Tywin proposes Cersei to marry Rhaegar, and it gets all that shit happens back to back to back to back. So that nigga Ares was going through it, like it was bad.
All right.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I can tell
I think
you
they're
don't know,
setting
but
up.
I know. Trust me, I know. Movies.
I know that Roberts would be better. I agree, it would be better than the Golden Empire, but I'm set that that's what they're gonna do, and I don't like it personally, but that's what they're gonna do, bro.
I guarantee that's not going to happen. This is not news. I guarantee you if this was going to be animated, we would have known already. They're not hyping this up because it's animated. This is not a Hollywood Reporter article.
They said it for the past 2 years. It's going to be animated. Right, they said it before House of the Dragon.
Let them set that up. Let them do it. Working with George R. R. Martin for an animated type. When they can send that shit to DVD, we don't care. And so will the box office, bro. Look what happened to Trans. Don't even want to see no animated Game of Thrones, man. That shit weak.
I agree. Just like they're going to release that animated Lord of the Rings movie, Ride of the Rohirrim. Weak.
Thanks for calling, Miles.
Yep.
Peace. No mother freaking animated Robert Year of the Valeria. Man, heck no. Not happening. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. It's got to be Robert's Rebellion or it's nothing. Period. And I'm standing on that.